AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Looking for these better days.
It is Football Friday, October 31st. Happy Halloween. I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's what you need to know to make today a better day. Ravens beat the Dolphins 28-6 on Thursday Night Football, kicking off Week 9 of the NFL season. Mackenzie Rivers joins me on this Halloween edition of Football Friday, right here on Better Day, presented by FanDuel. And Mac, we went 3 out of the 4 of our legs of the same game parlay last night.
What did I tell you? You got ambitious with the Henry touchdowns.
We did get ambitious with the Derrick Henry touchdowns, but we did say that our best standalone play was the Lamar Jackson under rushing yards, and that came home with ease. He had 5 carries for 14 yards. Ravens win and cover 28-6. Lamar throws 4 touchdown passes. Derrick Henry did have a big night, 19 carries for 119 yards, but when they got down into the red zone, it was Lamar throwing touchdowns instead of and 2 of them to Mark Andrews, instead of Derrick Henry running them in.
Yeah, there's just so much variability. It's just like you get tackled at the 1, Henry gets an easy touchdown. You're like, obviously. Or you rumble into the end zone and it's a touchdown. But the big picture takeaway here is the Ravens are the best team in the AFC North, and I don't think it's particularly close.
Yep.
We've seen this now. I know Derrick Henry had 1 game, I think, against maybe the Rams that was decent. But when Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are both in the backfield, they're a pretty unstoppable force. Throughout their 2 seasons together, they're averaging, 32 points per game, something like that. So up arrow on the Ravens and the Dolphins. We said it when they lost 31-6 to the Browns. They're done. They've been done. Mike McDaniel looks tortured on the sideline, and I think, thankfully, his torture will come to a conclusion very soon.
Yeah. What's interesting is with the win last night, the Ravens do improve to 3-5. There was only a small move in the futures market. So prior to the game, the Ravens were minus 135 to win the AFC North up on FanDuel, and currently they are minus 145 to win the AFC North. So with the win, just a slight uptick because, of course, obviously, what if the Steelers win this week and the Steelers improve to 5-3? That certainly helps things. If the Steelers
I think that's
lose,
cheap.
Of course it's cheap.
I told you the Steelers at plus 240 was a good bet, or I think I said that on this pod. But yeah, it might be flip flopping, but I think the Ravens should be minus 200 here.
Of course it's cheap. I went on a Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas yesterday, and I said bet the Ravens at minus 135 now because I thought that with a win last night the odds would move more. I didn't realize it was only going to move 10 cents. I thought it would move to minus 155 or minus 165. Minus 135 was a great bet. It's still a great bet at minus 145 to win the division. The schedule gets easier for the Baltimore Ravens as well. And now that Lamar's back, it's just they're playing on a different level. The defense is healthy as well. They only allowed 6 points last night. This is their second consecutive solid defensive performance. Yeah, Ravens are winning this division. So be forewarned. By the way, Lamar Jackson has missed how many games so far this season? How many games has he missed?
I think he's played 4.
Okay, so he's played in 4 games, right?
And 5. He's played in 5 games. He missed 3 games.
Okay, he's played in 5. Okay. He has more touchdown passes than Josh Allen.
Damn.
Yeah.
Take that MVP favorite.
Exactly. You
man,
want to talk about
man, everybody was like, well, now we know. I mean, Bill Simmons made this big thing. I know Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls, but I think everyone watching the league knows that Josh Allen's the best quarterback. You're not hearing that right now. And
no.
It's not like Patrick Mahomes is setting the world on fire from an offensive standpoint. It's just a little more open than we might thought, the best quarterback conversation.
Yeah. Mahomes with 17 touchdowns, tied with Matthew Stafford for the lead. But with the 4 touchdowns last night, Lamar Jackson now has 14 touchdown passes on the season. Josh Allen in 7 games only has 12 touchdown passes. So that's I thought that was an interesting little tidbit there. As Josh
He's run
Allen,
in a couple.
he's the
But
second favorite to be the MVP.
those odds are going to be very different after this week. Either Mahomes is going to be minus 110, and Josh Allen's going to be 8-1,
Yeah.
or it's going to be a tight race if the Bills can win.
Yep. Well, we'll get to that game and the rest of the schedule as we run through the NFL Week 9 Sunday schedule. We'll get to the Monday night game coming up on Monday morning's pod. So let's talk Week 9 NFL Sunday here on Football Friday. And we'll start with the Bears at the Cincinnati Bengals. Mackenzie up on FanDuel right now. So we've seen some movement on this game, dancing with the 2.5, 3 number here. But up on FanDuel right now, the Bears are a 2.5-point favorite over the Cincinnati Bengals, total of 50.5. And this was identified in the Trench Report this week as one of the top 5 mismatches backing the Chicago Bears.
The Bengals should be on the bottom of offensive line play, offensive play, defensive play. They've been that terrible. Although Joe Flacco, you look at PFF QBR, he's been like the 25th best quarterback in the league. Not too far from what Caleb Williams has done. I would stay away from this game. I've heard some people picking the Bears for Survivor. I know the Bengals are terrible. I agree with you on that point. I'm not sure the Bears are much better. If they would have lost to the Raiders like they should have, if they would have lost to the Commanders like they should have, they'd be 2-5.
Yeah.
We'd be having a very different conversation.
And Joe Flacco did return to practice yesterday, so his status still up in the air, though, for this game as he has the
What does he have, Alzheimer's?
Yeah, the injured throwing shoulder. He's not that old. I mean, come on, give him a break. The Vikings.
I shouldn't say that. I've had family members with Alzheimer's. They can't even remember that they have Alzheimer's. It's terrible.
Vikings take on the Lions in Detroit. Up on FanDuel right now, it is the hometown Detroit Lions as a 8.5-point favorite over the Minnesota Vikings, Mackenzie. And what does this tell you about, J.J. McCarthy? What does this tell you? 8.5-point dogs here to the Detroit Lions?
There's a couple things that I think are telling us that J.J. McCarthy's career is in jeopardy. He might not be the guy that we thought. One is that this line was 7.5 last week when we thought Carson Wentz might be the starter. Now it's 8.5, 9 because we know J.J. McCarthy's going to be the starter. So that's a downgrade by the Vegas market. Billions of dollars says this guy sucks. That's point A. Point B, Carson Wentz might have had the most damning with faint praise of anybody not trying to blow up their employer when he says, hey, he walks up to the podium, hey, let me make perfectly clear. Nobody forced me to go out there and play. I felt like I was healthy enough to play, so that's why I did it. And I don't want to hear anything about the Vikings forcing me to play. What is he saying there? He's saying there was a very difficult time for him to get out on the field. And the Vikings, they might not have forced him, but they definitely wanted him. They could have not had him be the starter, meaning they didn't want to see J.J. McCarthy any more than they had to. I think they're wondering whether or not they made a very, very bad choice this past summer.
Well, it's a big line here. Heavy dogs here going to Detroit for.
Are you a believer? Is J.J. McCarthy going to prove us all wrong in the millions of dollars of Vegas market?
We'll see him. We've seen one good quarter from him this season, Mac. That's it. We've seen one good quarter. And is it going to happen on the road here against Aiden Hutchinson and this Lions defense? I don't know. I don't think we're going to see it. Something to keep an eye on with the Detroit Lions, though. Their offensive coordinator came out and talked about how they need to get Jameson Williams more involved in the offense. And sometimes, this could be a game where maybe we should believe the coaches and we should believe the talk coming out of Detroit, and we could be looking at a Jameson Williams prop day here. Maybe we go over Jameson Williams props. The OC comes out and says, we failed this guy. We need to get him the ball more. Well, maybe they get him the ball more here against.
And I know every NFL team says you got to respect their opponent. It's not like they can name their score, but they have a little flexibility when they call plays in this particular matchup at home on the fast grass or turf.
The Panthers visit the Green Bay Packers, and Green Bay up on FanDuel right now, a 13.5-point favorite, low total of 43.5. So you have a near 2-touchdown line with a low total of 43.5. Now, normally you would say, we got to take the points, right? You take in a low-scoring game, you want as many points as you can. I can't get there because the Packers are that good. The Packers are that good on defense, and we still don't know if it's going to be Bryce Young or with Andy Dalton playing at quarterback this week because both of them are pretty banged up. And Bryce Young did fully participate in practice yesterday.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was actually looking at the practice reports on Wednesday, the first practice of the week, because I wanted to see if he was limited or if he was a full participant. And the way the reporters were talking about it, they were like, he's seen on the field throwing the ball. It wasn't like it didn't seem like he was in a full practice mode, but they ended up saying he was full participant. Maybe it was just a light practice. But the line moved from 12.5 to 13.5. I think either he's very banged up and playing or he's not playing. And if it's Andy Dalton, I don't want any piece of it. You mentioned the total thing. It's kind of counterintuitive, but if you look at the data, it's actually all right to lay double digits with a low total, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, because the result winds up being like what we saw last night on Thursday Night Football.
27-10.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, let's move on to the next game. The Chargers are at the Titans. LA is a 9.5-point favorite, and there's just nothing positive to say about the Tennessee Titans. Like, is this the do they win one for the coach? Is this the Mike McCoy revenge game? Former Chargers coach now, the interim coach here with the Titans, or
I didn't even think about that angle. That's funny.
Yeah, or is this just Cam Ward's not an NFL quarterback? The Titans are not ready to be a competitive NFL team, and the Chargers should steamroll them.
Harbaugh's been very good traveling west to east, 15-4 with the 49ers and also with the Chargers. So he's had a lot of experience playing in this early window where a lot of Western Coast teams tend to trip up. Chargers are all about toughness travels, defense travels, all that stuff, that rah-rah stuff. I think it helps you cream a team like this getting up early on a Sunday on the road. I think they're a bully. They like to bully teams.
It feels like this is going to be the number one survivor pick of the week. Even though it is a road game, it still feels like this is going to be, maybe.
I'm on the Rams personally. We'll get to them.
Okay. We'll get to the Rams coming up here in just a moment. Let's continue to talk about the early window here. Falcons visit the Patriots and the third favorite to be the MVP in Drake May. The Patriots are a 5.5-point favorite here over an Atlanta team, Mackenzie, that I talked about it so many times on this pod. Their offense is predictable. You're taking Bijan off the field in the biggest plays of the game, and you're bringing in Tyler Algiers. It feels like there's nothing but positive vibes coming from Drake May and the New England Patriots, playing hard for Mike Vrabel. It's Patriots or pass for me in this game. I can't trust the Atlanta Falcons at all.
Yeah. Their offense has been really bad. Like, I know that some games, like against the Bills, they looked all right, and against the Vikings, they looked all right. But altogether, they're a 26th best offense if you remove turnovers on the season. And now you have a banged-up Penix. It'd be Patriots or pass for me. Problem is, everyone agrees with us. This line was 3, now it's 5.5.
Yep.
Because all the love and roses are going towards New England right now.
Yeah, so we still don't know about Penix's availability. He did practice yesterday. They say he's optimistic to return. Same thing with Drake London, who's getting ready. So if they have their full complement of weapons back, we could see a better performance. But honestly, I want nothing to do with this Falcons team right now. 49ers visit the Giants, so you got the West Coast team traveling east to play the early window here, Mackenzie, and you could talk about the 49ers in that role. 49ers 2.5-point favorites at the New York Giants. This line feels low to me, honestly. Like, I get it. Giants, it's a bad situational spot for the 49ers, and the Giants have fought hard this year, but after losing Cam Scatterbo last week, it feels like the edge might be lost a little bit here with the Giants, like the fire, Scatterbo brought a lot to this offense and it brought a lot to this locker room. And I just wonder without him, can they get fired up to play that home underdog role and pull an upset here? I don't know if I see it.
Yeah. You're coming from the Giants kind of perspective, from the 49ers perspective. I hope you're right. He did seem like their spirit animal. The Niners are also reeling, and they need their own spirit animal, losing all their heart and passion on the defense with Fred Warner gone. But offensively, I like the matchup here. Giants not good against the run, and I feel like McCaffrey's ready for a big game. And he's been quiet this season on the ground. I think that changes here. The market kind of agrees with me, even though he's only gone over 70 once this season. His over-under is 70, so they expect him to be back to his old self.
Yeah, this was one of the biggest trench report mismatches in terms of the running game. So this was identified as a rushing mismatch. So that would mean a play on Christian McCaffrey and his rushing numbers to go over. All right, next up, let's talk about an interesting game here. The Colts visit the Steelers, and right now up on FanDuel, the Colts are a 3-point favorite. For me, it might be as simple as just Tomlin as a home dog, right? 18-8-4 against the spread as
He was
a
that
home
last
dog.
week.
It did not
But-
work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but it's actually another trend that comes up, which is off a loss as a home dog. It's even better for Tomlin. So this is a classic. All the analytics say one thing, and all the old school, like, they're never as good as their best game. They're never as bad as their worst game says another thing. I like the Colts here. That's how I land. I'm believing my eyes. I'm believing the data. Their offense is trending in one direction. They just had their 3-week best stretch offensively. And the Steelers' last 3 weeks have forced 0 turnovers and have been a bottom 3 defense. So I think the Colts, by the way, Shane Steichen has a great record against Mike Tomlin's defenses, averaging 32 points per game, 7 points above their team total on average. Colts, you can get over 26.5 at minus 140. That might be my best bet. I would also just lay the 3 with the Colts.
Well, the total here is 50.5, so this is expected to be a high-scoring game.
They're making you pay up for it, but I do think the Colts get their points.
I like the Steelers here. I like taking the points here with the Steelers.
Ooh, conflict.
Yeah, I
like
think it could be a high-scoring game. I think I'll give you that. It could be a high-scoring game. I just think that Tomlin, after the loss, home dog once again, rallies the troops here, especially maybe feeling a little bit of pressure with Lamar Jackson back and seeing the Ravens win here on Thursday, knowing that the margin for error is slim. And also, I am just not a believer in the Indianapolis Colts. And that might make me in the minority here, Mackenzie.
You're going to be the last one on the bandwagon. They'll be like, hey, we're all going to the Super Bowl. You want to come? Scott,
but listen,
want to hop on with us?
Until they beat a good team,
yeah,
I'm not going to buy into it. Okay,
they haven't beaten anybody.
They haven't beaten anybody. They beat the Chargers. Their best win is against the Chargers. And we know there have been games where the Chargers have disappeared this season. So
yeah, they were banged up.
Their best win is against the Chargers. That's it. When you beat the Titans twice, when you beat the Raiders, when you beat the Dolphins, like that's not the Cardinals, that's not impressive. Yeah. All right, the win against the Broncos, we talked about it before. It took a penalty that allowed them to re-kick that field goal. That should have been a loss. And if also the possession before, if Bo Nix doesn't throw an interception in the red zone, like you want to talk about the EPA swing in that game, I bet you if you looked up on pregame's fourth quarter win share, the Broncos had a more dominant fourth quarter win share in that game. Bo Nix throws a red zone interception, and then the Colts are in a position to kick the field goal. And then guess what? They missed the field goal. And then they get to re-kick it because of a phantom penalty. So if that was a loss on their schedule and they were 6-2, would people still feel as great about them? I mean, maybe they'd have, 4 straight wins and everyone would get excited, but 7-1 looks different than 6-2. And also, it would just, to me, look, if we take that and we give that one as a loss, then you'd really be saying, who the hell did they beat this season?
Yeah, so, they had a 31% weighted average chance to win the fourth quarter. That patented fourth quarter win share against the Broncos, end up winning. And I think that does change perception a lot. I will push back this way, however. I agree the Colts have had a cupcake schedule. So have the Steelers. Who have the Steelers beat?
Yeah,
I mean, they almost lost to the Jets. They did beat the Patriots in a game with a bunch of turnovers, but they've had the third easiest schedule. Colts have had Steelers' fifth easiest schedule, Colts' third easiest schedule, so it's kind of a wash there.
Yeah, but what this line is telling us, Mackenzie, is that
road
the
favorites.
The Colts would be, because the Steelers have a great home field, and it's an indoors team going outdoors to play on grass. So
Daniel Jones in Three River Stadium. There's a lot not to like about my Colts side here.
I'm just saying,
I'm a numbers guy. What can I say?
If we play the whole flip the script narrative, like. Are the Colts 9-point favorites over the Steelers in Indy?
7.5, which might be too much. I might like the Steelers in that spot.
Exactly. So yeah, way too much. Way too much right now.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
All right, let's move on to our next early last game of the early window here. The Broncos are at the Texans, and the Houston Texans, Mackenzie, a 1.5 point home favorite here over the Denver Broncos, essentially saying that these are even teams. Do we think the Broncos and Texans are even teams, though? Because I and the Trench Report would say they are not.
Yeah, I'm surprised by this line. The Broncos were favored last week. Texans had one of their better games of the season, especially on offense. But the Broncos kind of did too. The Broncos' last five quarters, as we've talked about, you don't want to see the 3 quarters before that, but the last 5 quarters, they've scored like 70 points, and Bo Nix has had the best stretch of his career in those 5 quarters. I kind of like the under here. It's 40.5. Both these teams are kind of the same, where they have a top 5 defense and a bottom 10-ish offense. I think both of them play close to the vest, and we get it under 40.5.
Okay, good angle to go with there. I'm taking the Broncos. I think the Broncos win this game outright. Broncos also a very attractive teaser piece. So you want to talk about teasing the Broncos?
Yeah, low total too.
Yep, low total. Tease the Broncos up from 1.5 to 7.5, and then find yourself a dance partner here. Maybe you definitely want to. I'd much rather tease up than tease down, but I mean, could we take the Lions from 8.5 to 6 to 2.5? That could be an interesting second teaser leg here. Or, I mean, what am I kidding? There's the most obvious teaser spot of the week here with the Denver Broncos, and it's the Buffalo Bills. That's the most obvious teaser spot. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Chiefs win by 10 on the road.
No,
it's not likely.
Happening. It's not happening. I'm gonna save that game for a little bit later. Let's go on to these next games here before we get to that marquee one. Jaguars are at the Raiders. This is one of the games of your afternoon slate up on FanDuel right now. It is the Jacksonville Jaguars who are a road favorite here in Vegas against the Raiders. Jags are laying 3. You got Jacksonville coming off the bye. So, both teams are coming off the bye here. So you certainly like the road favorite coming off of a bye, but man, Raiders just are such a high variance team, in my opinion. Like, the Raiders could lose this game by 20, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders pull an upset here over Jacksonville either.
I don't know what to believe in Jacksonville. I mean, they've had some of the luckiest turnovers with their opponents, but rookie head coach, I mean, you could make the argument that they should be getting better, and the fact they started 4-1 was just kind of fortuitous. I definitely believe in them more than the Raiders. I don't know. Do you think the Vegas Raiders have a home court field advantage? I don't really.
No.
But then again, it's not like Jaguars fans travel.
That's what I'm saying.
I want nothing to do with this.
This would be a game that they would. So there are certain games throughout the season where they do have a home crowd.
Right.
Like when they play an LA team, no. When they play the Cowboys or the Packers, no. When they play the 49ers, absolutely not. But if they play the Jacksonville Jaguars or if they welcome in the Carolina Panthers, like
who? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, those are teams that are not going to travel cross country. Those are teams that there will be, and there's no national fan base for them either. So I do think it'll be a Raider home crowd here. I actually might take the points of the Raiders. It's an ugly play.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think the Jaguars are good. Like, I don't see the Raiders winning 8 games and saving Pete Carroll's career or whatever. I think it's kind of done. But I don't think the Jaguars are good.
All right, Saints are at the Rams. This is your survivor pick. It's a lot of people's survivor pick, probably. Rams 14.5 point favorites over the New Orleans Saints. The only story coming out of this one is that Tyler Shuck is going to be at quarterback here for the New Orleans Saints. 14.5 is a lot to lay in an NFL game, Mackenzie. It's a lot. Again, this is the low total, 43.5, a 2-touchdown favorite, kind of like we talked about earlier. I can see a situation, though, where this, like Thursday night, this ends with the Rams winning 24-0. Does Tyler Shuck score any points here in LA? Like, it just feels like this could be a completely one-sided game.
Yeah, I'm on the Rams for survivor. I think money line. I mean, not money line, but I think they are a good bet to get you to the window and survive another week. off a bye. And the Saints, you look at their profile, their statistical profile, they've been bad, bottom three team, but they haven't been terrible, especially at the quarterback position. Spencer Rattler grades out as what? The 12th best quarterback by PFF, 20th best quarterback by QBR, I'm looking at here. He's been decent. He's not the reason why they've won one game. And I think moving from him to a completely unproven rookie, who was even worse than Spencer Rattler, despite them both playing terrible last week, I think what they're saying is, we don't believe in either of these guys. We're going to lose the rest of our games. We're going to have a very successful 1-15 season. I think it starts here. So I don't really want to lay the 14 points either. 24-0, the number you spit out. I think that tells me, I kind of agree with that, 24-3, something like that. Saints team total under of the different ways to look at it would be my favorite.
I like that. Current number I'm seeing up on FanDuel right now for a New Orleans Saints team total, 13.5. Man, I don't think they get 4. I don't think they get
I wish it was 14.5.
Well, of course you
Can
do.
you give me
No,
14.5?
No, I'm not going to give it to you. No. Here's what I'm going to do for these next games. I'm going to go out of order. I'm going to do the Sunday night game first, because then we could talk about the biggest game of the week and the biggest game of the season right now in the Chiefs and the Bills. Right. So Sunday Night Football, the Seahawks at the Commanders, currently up on FanDuel right now. It is the Seahawks as a 3-point road favorite. Still, Jaden Daniels working his way back, should be back from injury in this one, so I can see the Washington offense being a little bit better in this spot. But this feels like an under game. This is a primetime Sunday night under if I ever saw one. Low scoring, 2 good defenses. I do think that we see an under 47.5 here in this game.
Tough to play unders these days. It's the second highest scoring season we've ever seen. Although the market loves to adjust upwards the totals, so it probably can end up 50-50 and over-unders eventually. I would love to fade the Commanders whenever they're playing at home in Washington, although I didn't tell myself to do that against the Bears. But historically, that's been a fine play. And Seattle travels well. They are 10-1 under Mike McDonald on the road straight up. So probably a good situation to lay it with the Seahawks here.
All right. So I'm just looking at some Sunday night games here, and they are 10-6 to the under, I believe. That's well, no, that wouldn't be all Sunday night games. We haven't had 16 Sunday night games. I would probably
We've had 8, so it's doubled up.
Exactly. It's 5-3 to the under. So 5-3 to the under.
Yeah, in a season with a bunch of overs, 5-3.
Yep. Average total 47.5. Oh, by the way, total in this one's 47.5. Okay, let's talk about the biggest game of the season so far, and that's the Chiefs.
Is this the week where you don't watch Sunday Night Football? It's like, all right, we had the afternoon entree.
Yes.
I'm going to the gym.
Yes.
I'm starting Pilates, whatever I'm doing. This is the week to skip Sunday Night Football.
Yes, this is the week. This is the week, and it's a shame that the World Series Game 7 is going to be on Saturday night, not on Sunday night. So
yeah, that would be a nice nightcap.
Of course, it would be a nice nightcap. This is the biggest game of the season so far. You look at the standings in the AFC, whether you believe in the Colts or not, or the Patriots. I mean, my goodness. I mean, actually, even the Broncos have a 6-2 record. But Bills and Chiefs are sitting here 5-2 and 5-3. It's a very important game here at this point of the season. Chiefs are 1.5-point road favorites in this game, Mackenzie. It's such an interesting line because I get it. Kansas City has looked a lot better lately. They are at full strength, and they are scary at full strength. I'll be honest. They're the best team in the NFL right now. And Mahomes is the MVP. I just can't get myself behind them being a 4.5 to 5-point favorite if this game was in Kansas City.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's what this line is telling us. The
Bills are Super Bowl favorites to start the season.
With the Chiefs being 1.5-point road favorites in Buffalo, that's telling me that in Buffalo is probably a 2-point home field advantage, not a 1.5. So that's telling me that the Chiefs would be a 0.5-point favorite on a neutral, and Arrowhead's probably a 2.5. That's a strong home field as well. It's almost like an exact flip. It's almost like you would say 1.5-point favorites. That means they're 3 to 3.5-point favorites on a neutral. That means they're 4.5 to 5 to 5.5-point favorites if this game was in Arrowhead. I don't think so. It doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, the Bills are the best teaser leg of the week. Maybe Bills and Broncos tease them both up from 1.5 to 7.5. And it's a simple. It's simple. And maybe we have to just completely just look at it this way. This is a regular season game, Mackenzie. In the last 4 years, the Bills against the
4-0, baby.
Chiefs, 4-0 straight up in ATS in the regular season, 0-4 straight up in ATS in the postseason. We know Josh Allen wins the regular season games and Patrick Mahomes wins the playoff games. Maybe this year is reversed, though.
It's possible. The Chiefs last one at Buffalo in a COVID year. But yeah, it's been tough for them in the regular season. And why would they change that? Why would they want to change that? They have them right where they want them. They give them their little regular season doggy treat to keep them satisfied and satiated. And then they charge up for the playoffs. Yeah, the line move is just, you got to keep you off it. You could tell me the Chiefs are the best team in football. I agree with you. But this was, in the summer, Bills -2.5, Bills -3. They were considered the better team. Maybe they've come back to parallel, but to say the Chiefs are 3 points better, it's tough for me to get there.
Yeah, I can't. I'm on the Buffalo Bills, and to me, it's about the spread, but it's also about the spot. And like I mentioned, the teaser leg. This would be a great teaser leg to tease up the Buffalo Bills with the Denver Broncos. Before we wrap things up, just want to remind everybody about the Trench Report up right now, up on BetterDay.com. You can look at each individual game matchup and take a look at which teams have the edge in the trenches. The running back props, certainly in this game with the Chiefs and the Bills, something I'm going to take a look at, with James Cook and the Buffalo Bills having the biggest rushing mismatch over the Chiefs' running defense. And actually, the Chiefs' running blocking is the third biggest mismatch against the Buffalo Bills. So maybe this is a Pacheco game against James Cook. The only issue is the quarterbacks run a lot in this game. When it's Chiefs versus Bills, national attention. I know it's not at the Sunday night game, but the quarterbacks do run a lot in this matchup, which could scare me off of doing the running back props. But Trench Report says they should have a mismatch. James Cook rushed for 200 yards last week. Yeah, this is gonna be a fun game to watch. I can't wait. I can't wait to just to watch this matchup here. Have Jim Nantz, Tony Romo. Tony.
Funny you mentioned that, because I was just thinking, this is the rare game where usually I have Red Zone on the main TV and I might have another laptop up with a game on. This is I don't know what other afternoon games are on. I guess I could look at it right now.
Well, it's Jags, Raiders, and Saints, Rams. There's no reason to watch either of those games.
Neither those games will be telegrammed to me, the results of those games. I'll be watching the Bills Chiefs.
100%. Go up to BetterDay.com right now. You can check out the Trench Report under the Research and Analysis tab. Also, there is a new drop-down menu under the Research and Analysis tab where you'll find the new systems page that will be consistently updated as we, add more systems. But it's just some of the things that we like to track in a variety of sports, some tried and true proven systems. You can check that out under the Research and Analysis tab. There is a drop-down menu. Click on Systems. You'll see that up on BetterDay.com. And we are continuing to unveil new features up on the website. Coming up later up today, it is Football Friday Part 2. We're going to have our college football episode and our newsletter, as well as the fantasy football article will be up for you on BetterDay.com, and that'll come up a little bit later on today as well. It'll get emailed out to you, BetterDay.com subscribers. So looking forward to it. Going to be joined by Chris Dell of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Really, really good fantasy football guy. So we'll get his thoughts on fantasy football. Week number 9 of the NFL season. That'll be up later on today. Once again, up on BetterDay.com. For Mackenzie Rivers, I'm Scott Seidenberg. Here's hoping you make today and every day a better day.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.